Yo, I went on a date in Atlanta and I had to run for my life. Literally had to run for my life. Yo, y'all ready to hear about this story?
Where is Neva? Where is Neva? Where is Neva? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she?
Hello, family. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Where is Neva? Where are you mentally, financially, romantically, artistically, and all the above? Where are you? I hope you are taking the time to check in with yourself, check in with your heart, your mental, all of that. Hopefully you're checking in. Yo, I'm so glad to be here to talk to you all about this amazing, crazy experience. So we're talking about where am I romantically, but we're not talking about currently where I'm at. We're talking about in the past, right? So this was some years ago, and my dating life has changed now than the way I dated in the past. So hopefully y'all don't judge me too much, but I don't judge myself, so I accept it, and I'm able to tell the story. So yes, family, on my road trip, my solo month road trip, I did some dating. And I used a platform that allows you to date online. And I wanted to meet some people. I wanted to meet some locals. I wanted to date. I wanted to get to know people. I was single for 4 years. So yes, I was ready to mingle and meet people while I'm on the road. That's nothing wrong with that. You all better date. Because how we going to find somebody if we don't date? Men don't just fall from the sky, or do they? So, now men don't fall from the sky. Anyway, when I did my road trip, I traveled from Maryland all the way to Seattle, going the southern route all by myself. It was a solo month road trip. And so, yes, there were times that I got lonely. Yes, there were times where I hung out with friends, but I also wanted some male companionship. So, yes, I wanted to meet some locals. I wanted to meet some locals who knew where to go, where to party at, how to party, all of that stuff. I wanted to experience the state that I was in. And so I went on some dating sites starting in Atlanta. And I was swiping. At the time when I was in Atlanta, I was staying with my friend. He's a dope man. He allowed me to crash on his couch. And he actually had a roommate at the time. And I never met her, but she was amazing. She loved me so much. Shout out to Kendra and Cortez. Y'all are always family. Anyways, Kendra loved me. She fed me. And sis can cook. And my love language is food, one of them. And so sis would feed me. Sis would kiki with me. Sis would talk to me about dating. And sis invited me to go to a bar. And so I told sis, yes, let's go to a bar. I want to go and hang out with you for a little while before you go to work. You get some food, whatnot. She was like, bet. So we went to this bar. We were sitting there, and I started talking to her about dating sites. And I was telling her how I've used dating sites. I actually met some of my exes off of dating sites and how the relationships were good. They were cool. I told her how I enjoy dating sites. And she was like, oh, she was hesitant about it. And if y'all know me, I will tell y'all to get on a dating site. And so while I was showing her my dating site, I got a message from this man. And he was like, what's up? And I was like, hey, nothing much. I'm just sitting at this restaurant. And he was like, yo, dope. He's like, I'm not that far from there. I said, oh, cool. You should come meet us at the bar. Rule number 1, if you ever meet somebody for the first time, make sure it's in a public space. Okay, my friend was there. She would end up leaving very soon. But I needed her to meet him too. And we needed to be in a public space. Okay? And so he met me at the bar. He walked in. And I was pleasantly surprised that he looked like his photos. Right? And so he came and sat by me. And it's hard to say, because I don't like talking about people. But baby boy didn't smell too great. And I seen that he was holding an H&M bag. So I asked him, I was like, oh, so you went shopping? He was like, yeah, I just got back from doing some Uber Eats, so I had to change some clothes. And so he was masking the smell of food. But I'm just like, yo, rule number 2, when you go on a date, make sure you come out as your best self. Make sure you wash under your armpits. Make sure you ain't just coming right from working. Make sure you brush your teeth. Make sure you do what you're supposed to do to get your hygiene correct when you go on these beautiful dates with these beautiful people. Anyways, I wasn't just about to cancel him, so we just kept on talking. We was kiki kakaing. My friend ended up leaving to go to work, and so we was just kiki kakaing. She wasn't that far, so if I needed to go to her job, I could just walk there. And so she made sure of that. Rule number 3, make sure that people know where you're at. Share your locations. Tell people where you're at. So Cortez knew where I was, and Kendra knew where I was. Anyways, I was kiki kakaing with him, and this older man came and sat by us. And this was actually before she left. So the older man came sat by us. The guy sat by, the guy from the dating app sat by us, and then Kendra was in there. So we all was talking and whatnot, and Kendra ended up leaving. The guy from the dating app, the older man, started talking to each other. And so I'm sitting here just drinking and eating my little food, whatnot. My cup was getting empty, and they just was talking. And the older man was like, hey, I see both of you guys' cups getting empty. Let me treat y'all. He was like, okay, cool. So he treated online man with another beer, and he treated me with a drink. And so we was vibing, we was talking, whatever. Then the older man directed the conversation to me. And so I was talking to him, I was kiki kakaing, and we was cool. And I think online man wasn't feeling it. So online man was like, hey, I'm about to head out. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, well, it was nice meeting you. Talk to you soon. I'm not begging nobody to stay. If they wanted to leave, they wanted to leave. So online man left. Me and older man was sitting there talking. The conversation was good. We was vibing, da-da-da. We was drinking, we was talking, and he was like, hey, have you been to this place called Boogaloo? I was like, yo, is that the place with the swings? So Atlanta got this place that you can swing, right? And I've been wanting to go. And I was like, no, I never. He said, it's not that far from here. He said, do you mind, you want to come? I was like, all right, let me see. Let's just talk. So I text my friend. I was like, hey, girl, I think I'm about to go to Boogaloo with this guy. Like, what's up? She was like, girl, go have fun, but be careful. Just make sure you let me know. I was like, okay, cool. And so I agreed. I said, let's go. We walked to his car. He had a really nice car. We walked to his car and we drove to Boogaloo. Rule number whatever. I don't even know what number. Make sure you got something on you. Either if it's mace or some martial arts or something. Make sure you got something on you, because people be crazy. At the time, I didn't know no martial arts. I didn't have nothing on me, but I had the faith of God, okay? And so me, God, and old man was rolling. And so we made it to Boogaloo. We had a good time. He ended up giving me another drink. I actually spilt it on him on an accident. He was not mad. I was like, okay, I fuck with you. You're not even angry with me after I just spilled a drink on you. And he was like, it's cool. He cleaned himself up. He was like, have a good time. So we was vibing. He introduced me to his friends. We were just having a good time. And he was like, yeah. So there's another place that plays like some jazz music, some live R&B, jazz, da-da-da. I love live music. So this man at this point is speaking everything I needed to hear. I was like, yes, that sounds fun. He's like, okay, let's go there. So once again, I text my friends. I said, hey, I'm about to go to this cafe, Cat's Cafe, with this guy. I just want to let you guys know where I'm at. And there we went. So we went to Cat's Cafe. Once again, another public spot. We was kicking it. They was playing live music. He asked me if I wanted some food. We was drinking. I think I got some food. I'm not sure exactly. But we was vibing and whatnot. And I'm just like, me and old man kicking it. We kicking it. We ain't expecting nothing, blah, blah, blah. So by the end of the night, my friend Cortez calls me. He said, Geneva, where are you? And I told him where I'm at. He was like, okay, it's time for you. Like, come home. It's time for you to come back. It's getting dark. I need you to be where I'm at. I was like, okay, this is a friend that cares about me. I was like, all right. Kendra was still at work, but she was about to get off. I wanted to get to where she was. So I was like, hey, so it's time for me to go. Do you mind taking me back to where we're at? This is when the red flag just, doop. He was like, so what you mean? Why are you trying to leave me? Are you gay or something? Do you like her? And I said, what do you mean? That's my friend. And if I'm gay, what does that got to do with anything? he was like, well, and he started saying something, but my red flag started going boop, 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 boop. And at that moment, I knew it was time to go. So I left. Yo, I ran out. I ran out of that place. Ran out. And I seen the bass player walking out of the cafe because they just got done with their show. And I was like, hey, I have a big favor to ask you. I know this is weird, this is strange, but is it possible that you could just take me down the street because I'm really trying to get away from this person? Rule number whatever, don't do what I did. Okay, don't run from a stranger to get with another stranger. I was just so in this hesitant. I could have got an Uber, but I had to wait for an Uber. Yes, these red flags everywhere. But at the same time, life is about living. But still be careful. Be careful. Anyways, bass player was like, yes, come on. I was like, oh my gosh. And he's my age. He looked like somebody I can probably take on if need be. Like, he was good. So we get in his car. He's driving off. I see the old man walk out. I scurried in the chair like this. So he couldn't see me. I didn't want him to see me. And he was looking around to see where I was, and he didn't see me. Anyways, I told the bass player where I needed to go. He took me there. And he was like, yeah, so I'm going to church on Sunday. So would you like to come with me? This man told me I need Jesus. I was like, that is a possibility. But let's talk about it. So me and this man exchanged numbers, and me and this dude is still cool. Me and bass player is still cool to this day. And he is just love. After my time in Atlanta, I stopped talking to an old man because those red flags was red. Okay? Bass player is a dope bass player. He plays for like Summer Walker and different places and different people. He's been in different festivals. It's amazing man. And we, like, when I see him, we're still cool. There's still love there. And so I'm glad, like, even though there were so many different red flags in the situation, I must say I was glad to experience that. The reason why I would say that is because I wouldn't be who I am today without those experiences. People make mistakes. People learn from the mistakes. And the thing is if you don't learn from your mistakes, if you can't sit back and reflect on your mistakes, then they're not lessons. There just will constantly be mistakes that turn into regrets. I don't regret that situation. Yes, there was red flags showing. Yes, possibly I shouldn't have hung out with strangers. But everybody's a stranger until you meet them. Okay? Everybody. Kendra was a stranger before I actually got to know her. My friend Cortez was a stranger before me and him got to know each other. So everybody becomes a stranger before you get to know them. And yes, the dating process, regardless of what it looks like, from dating in relationships to romantic to platonic relationships, you're still dating somebody to get to know them. And dating can look different from other people. But my thing is, let's say this. Read the room. Read the room and know to tell your people where you're at. The ones that you have that relationship, let them know where you're at and who you're with. So, my dating in Atlanta experience was crazy. It was crazy. But it didn't stop there. I kept on dating on my road trip. And I got another story for y'all. And the story that I got to tell you next is even more crazier. Crazy. But once again, it's not something I regret. It's something I learned for. So I'm so excited to tell you the lessons I learned in the next dating story. Y'all ready? Thank you for coming to another episode of Where's Neva. I hope you enjoyed that story. That story was crazy, right? Hope you are taking care of yourself like always. And make sure that you are dating and getting to know people. And make sure you are taking these tips that I'm putting in place so that you guys can learn from my lessons and not make the lessons yourself. I love you, family. Stay blessed. Bye.
Where is Neva? Where is Neva?